Hey, hi, hello, hello. We're reading now chapter 145 of Dr. Stone. In the last one, Senkyu had triumphed over Suiru in, or Rusui? What? In poker. A thrilling one-chapter poker showdown. It was a phyretic a phyretic, a f- what am I trying to say here? You know, a victory that costs you a lot of suffering. You suffer a lot and you lose a lot, but you still win because Senkyu cheated by giving himself an allergic reaction. Brilliant. And all those who bet on him are celebrating, the other half mourning their loss of Dragos. I hope that Suika didn't bet. Children shouldn't be betting. We win it all back. Another round sounds great, right? Kohaku picking her nose. And now it looks like we've set up the Perseus Luck full-time casino on the bridge of the ship. A very romantic idea. Playing casino games out under the stars with the roar of the tide around you and the gentle rocking of the ship. Sounds nice. Probably will lead to huge degeneracy. I don't think the primitive people really understand probability yet, or the complexities of gambling, or that immutable law that the house always wins. So I don't know if this is going to be good for long-term morale, but in the short term, this seems like a lot of fun for people. And I don't, I don't really know where the story is going anymore. I thought we would go straight from this into the dangers and thrills of their new complex navigational route, having to triangulate with Ishigami Village to continuously adjust your position to make sure you're on the perfect track. I'm sure we're going to get stuff like that eventually, but the casino gambling arc continues. uh, Throwing dice, Yo running around with a basket full of chips. He's still carrying the gun, bro. bro. You can leave the gun behind. Something you desired for a while now. It's the rebirth of the casino. Recreation is a key component of troop logistics. Cutting our travel time from 70 days to 40, we gotta improve our crew's lifestyle. That's the trade-off. More rations cuts off 10 days. Recreational facilities shave away another 10. Now I just desire something to eliminate that final 10-day chunk. Ooh, they're gonna get wasted. Again, it's like the long-term negative effects of these things being introduced into society may be more substantial than the 10 days of morale gained from creating them. Are they going to drink? I'm sure Suika can't drink. Most of the protagonists are high schoolers. I don't know if they're allowed to be seen drinking in Shonen Jump. But there's enough adults around, of course, to support this industry. It's Bar Francois. Look at that logo. Oh my gosh, what an elegant, refined logo. It makes me think of Frasier for some reason. Really lovely, again, a very lovely romantic idea. In effect, what is this going to have in the long term on our newfound drinkers? Bar Francois. I think I keep calling her Charlotte. I'm really sorry, Francois. I've called you Charlotte probably quite a few times. Ooh, and all the modern people are freaking out that they get booze. Let's not limit to alcohol. Our focus here will be virgin cocktails. Attempt to craft a personalized cocktail for every guest. Ooh, that's like a really fun, lovely idea. Very above and beyond, of course, but maybe this will be interwoven into our journeying thing that it becomes in some sense Francois' saga, that by the time they arrive in America, she wants to get to know everyone on board and come up with something perfectly suited to them. What are they making first? Gum syrup. They're squeezing wheat flour to make water starchy, and then they add sulfur, which is quite surprising. Sulfuric acid, a long-term antagonist of the series. Sometimes antagonist, sometimes ally. a Vegeta type character, I suppose. Um, how do you get away with putting sulfuric acid in your drink? Isn't fit for consumption. You're gonna stay would melt your teeth. That's why you boil it a little. And some toxic wither. It's quite toxic. Whoa, these faces. Getting super bulgy. Looking more like, I don't know, like Ren and Stimpy or that guy that drew like the, the mouse that's driving a drag race car. Do you know what I'm talking about? That guy? But yeah, like a very Western styled face fault here. Western inspired face fault here, I think is quite funny. Making sugar stuff all along. Use minor that produces a super tiny amount. Don't try this at home. You could die. Okay, I guess that one tiny little paragraph is gonna save all our kids. But yeah, if things are toxic because they're too acidic or too basic, when you combine them, if you do it very, very carefully and very properly and not just freestyling it, you can end up with something neutral and consumable. So sweet. That sounds wonderful. Gum syrup. Chrome freaks out. Everybody's eyes are bulging this chapter. It's an eye bulging chapter. So they're heating up some milk to make it into kind of a yogurt, mixing that in with the gum syrup, with lemon as well. Like strained yogurt with gum syrup and lemon juice. What is that gonna make? I don't know. It feels like something would curdle. I guess the yogurt has already kind of curdled, so it's not gonna curdle further. Ooh, Calpico! What? Lactic acid beverage similar to Calpico acquired. Hey. Calpico! My recycling bin is right next to my desk. It's Calpico. I always get Calpico White Peach. Actually, a friend of mine got me this on my birthday. Wow. And she gave it to me from 6 feet away. Social distancing. Wow, Calpico! How lovely! I love Calpico! I want more Calpico! Evidently, I drank all the Calpico. Is it the perfect drink for Suika? Never had anything like it. Super sweet, but also a little sour. So yummy! A little decoration on the rim. Looks like your helmet been made out of cucumber. So cute! Oh? You put the cucumber into Calpico. Am I about to learn something that will blow my mind? Am I about to go out and buy Calpico and cucumber? Tastes like watermelon. So refreshing. Apple to watermelon. Using fruit juice or something in the gourd family. Smell that cleaves as brilliant as the sun has a scientific reaction with the helmet. Produce further sparkling charms. Cocktail made in the image of Master Suika. So, Two sides sunshine. How nice. If they spend a few chapters just making cocktails for people, I'm totally down. This is so lovely. So cozy and enjoyable. Just trying to imagine how fresh and how new something like that would taste to someone from the stone world is really engaging, really enthralling. You don't really have many of those experiences in your life to try something totally brand new. And most of them are extremely front-loaded, that they all happen when you're a kid. And maybe at that time you can't really appreciate just how fresh and exciting it is. So we can live vicariously through Suika and the other Stone Age people. So how does it, I still don't get how it turns from apple to watermelon. Mixing fruit juice with something in the gourd family. It just kind of brings out a different side of the sweetness. Maybe I'll have to try that, because they're giving nice, clear instructions on how to make all these things. Next, we got Chichona tree, pomegranate, cinnamon, and some booze. I like that. Chrome kind of like still the optimistic side of the scientific minded. Not up to the level of like pure scientific analysis like Senkyu is hoping that there's some reason that bartenders are always constantly moving and shaking and stuff. But no, there's not. It is exciting though. It's nice. I don't know. Whenever I drink at a bar and I have a cocktail and they make it like elaborate and shake it around and stuff, it's like, oh, it's exciting. Ooh, there's my drink. Here it comes. What's it gonna taste like? Grenadine syrup made from pomegranate and tonic water. This is so crazy because now we've changed into like a totally different genre of manga. That we see all of these characters in like different outfits. Tsukasa now in the haute couture from Yuzuriha. Haute couture just meaning like handmade fashion. Fashion made on commission to a specific person, that is, rather than off the rack, ready made for anyone fashion. But he looks good, I gotta say. It's a good look on him. And it's a good mix with the drink. Classy, refined. The tonic water you can see is rising above the grenadine syrup, such that when you drink it, that's kind of like their first mixing point. Makes it a little more refreshing. The red from the pomegranate transforms when bathed in the scientific backlight, just like the silently smoldering flames of Master Tsukasa's heart. Ooh, it turned blue, glowing, pretty. Kohaku's cocktail is the Piquant Cinderella. Ginger ale, orange juice, pineapple juice, lemon juice, and a grated ginger. Ooh, that sounds really quite good. I'm not a huge fan of ginger ale, but maybe I could substitute that with something else. Seems pretty fantastic. Again, her much more elegant look. Still carrying her sword and shield and the ceremonial knots of her tribe, but looking elegant doing it. But the adults want booze. Will they get their booze? Ginger ale from ginger. Boiling that with cinnamon gets us chai syrup. I like that. Without really saying anything, Senkyu has maneuvered back behind the bar. He's inspired to start mixing up his own medicine. Gen's got spicy cola. That has no appeal to me whatsoever. I'm not very good with spicy foods, and I'm not a fan of cola. So that's a 0 out of 2 for me. But it's a neat idea, I suppose. Your simple exterior belies a dash of mature spice. He's still lamenting. No booze? No booze? I think they'll have a couple boozy ones for the adults. Maybe not. I don't know. He's a force to be reckoned with. Imagine coming up with all these drinks just from natural ingredients. Everything that exists in the world is a natural ingredient. It's ooh, there was a cocktail consultant too. This bar Funklein apparently helped out with designing the cocktails. That's quite fun. It's probably a place you could actually go to somewhere in Japan. Just noticed my TV was still on. But yeah, the debate about where the line between natural and unnatural stops is one that you hear in all sorts of different contexts, from all sorts of different perspectives. When people talk about GMO, genetically modified organisms, when people talk about drugs and drug manufacturing, when people talk about like nutrition, and is there something inherently better about things that are unprocessed, that are closer to things you would just find out in nature. But it's hard to ever draw specific lines. It's hard to ever have a one consistent line that delineates everything into natural or unnatural. It becomes something where everybody has a slightly different line, slightly different definition, and then the arguments start. Anyways, Ukyo saying something a little odd here, a little intriguing, almost too perfectly, like pieces falling right into place. What in the heck could that mean? He's saying it with kind of a smile, but then we see Gen looking a little suspicious in response. What could possibly be nefarious about making these wonderful cocktails for everyone? What could this possibly be suggesting? Thanks to that poker game, the casino is a roaring success. The crew gets this bar as another fringe benefit, as if to imply that now we can weather the harsh voyage. Whether it was Rusui or Senkyu who won the game, I have a feeling that we would have arrived at the same outcome. In other words, ever since Rusui and Senki started fighting, it's been a cumulative effort to get everyone on board with the quicker voyage plan. Could a certain mentalist have planned the whole thing? It's a fun theory anyways. Wait. So, is Ukyo suggesting that really the only viable route was the hard, fast route? But they really needed to get everyone on board with it and make everyone kind of happy with the situation they're going to be put through. So that Gen masterminded a fake fight between Senkyu and Rusui such that people could feel like the merits of both had been fully debated, that the choice was made in a fair contest, and to reduce any sort of complaining or like dispute or whatever. Or is he suggesting that Gen merely instigated a legitimate argument between the two because he knew it would eventually lead to that outcome? I don't know, but it's quite intriguing, isn't it? I think the role of so many of these characters, Gen is a good example, that there's so many characters that like have these weird, subtle powers that, coming up with like a power ranking isn't as simple as like Tsukasa, Hyoga, Homura, the ones that would just win in fights. Because actual conflicts are won and resolved and kind of orchestrated by much more subtle, intelligent powers than that. And it's when you start thinking about that, then it gets really quite complicated of who's really in charge. In the end, though, I have to think Senkyu is the Omega Mastermind that all fits within his vision. However, I will say this: I was giving it all my all and then some in the poker game. A bit exciting otherwise. So if nothing else, my loss was a bit frustrating, my dear Senkyu. I like that too. But this was supposed to be his area of domain expertise, And whether or not he actually wanted the outcome that he was playing for, he still gave it his all, I think, just because he wanted to see could he beat Senku in this. Maybe if he won, he would have reorchestrated the plans a little differently. A nice shot of Senku out here on the bridge in the light of the moon. It's nice. It's nice. Get this sense of, I don't know, like a depth to his character sometimes. Even though he's often quite goofy, even though he's kind of an unabashed, diehard nerd, he's got a lot going on within himself. He's got a long history to contend with and a huge destiny that he needs to live up to, and all of these complex relationships with the people around him, all born from mutual respect. And in the end, there's something very serious in his fundamentals, even if his actual execution is so over the top and fun. And it's in moments like this where you remember that even though there's all this levity around him, even though he's doing so many fun and crazy things, that he's truly deep within himself. Ooh, another one. Senku's cocktail itself. The 3-layer tea latte. Matcha whip, milk. Ooh, and hojicha. Ooh, dude, I love hojicha. I've been on such a hojicha kick. Or I was until the place that I got it from has shut down indefinitely. But yeah, I used to go to, we have The Alley is a bubble tea place that has amazing hojicha. So I would get hojicha there all the time. I like it better than matcha. It's less bitter. It's more of like a creamy, rich taste. It's kind of hard to describe. It almost has like, still kind of like a, not even like a bitterness, but like a dryness, like an absence of sweetness. But then you combined it with like milk or tapioca pearls or like there was like a peach one that I liked. It's so enriching. Love hojicha. And then a bit of gum syrup too. Matcha whip, milk, and hojicha syrup, arranged in stripes, a la Booth Net Cafe, and representing the layered cumulative nature of science. And I would say too, the layered cumulative nature of Senku. Perfect to post on social media. I wonder when they're going to invent Facebook in the Stone Age. I don't know. There'd definitely be some of the primitive people that are super into it from day one. Going into my mouse, so why not mix it all together? You choose to bend them beautifully, Master Senkyu, and those layers of scientific achievement will combine to become an ever so slightly sweet latte. Mmm. But no booze. In the end, no booze. What a lovely chapter. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't have expected something like this from this series, but at this point I've gotten quite used to saying that the series really goes in so many different directions and really handles these different tones and subgenres and with reverence and appreciation and I don't know. It's just it really makes you appreciate how much you love these characters to see them in a chapter like this, where it's really all about the character. If the journey to America is less about panicking and resources running low and navigational crises and stuff, and more about just getting to know our friends and seeing them learn about more riches of the modern world, that would be a-okay with me. Or if it's a combination of both, maybe that's the best. Okay, let's check out the next two chapters and see where we go. Bye bye.